Hi everyone, welcome to the today's podcast. Hi, this is Chavi, and today we have Shameera with us. He is an amazing person, and in this podcast, we would be talking about his Microsoft journey, and also we would also be talking about something more about his company because he is also a CEO and a principal architect at Impact IT. So I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Shavi, for the opportunity to connect with you.
Thank you so much. And we can just start with an introduction of yours, something more about you.
Okay, great. So, as Shavi mentioned, I'm Shameera Prajapriya, Sri Lankan born, uh, and as clearly mentioned, so I am a very tech enthusiast person, awarded with Microsoft MVP award for the last 6 consecutive years in cloud infrastructure, Microsoft Azure, and apart from introducing myself. Back in 2019, I'm a one of person who won World Top 50 Tech Innovators Award, and I have other conglomerate national and international awards for the technical stuff what we have done in Sri Lankan context, innovations and other developments, and we have done a one. Like so I'm a very passionate person in IoT technologies. That is how I started this MVP career as well. So in the IoT we have done few more projects. For those there are some other awards, and apart from that personal achievements, I'm the founder CEO of Impact IT, which is a Sri Lankan startup expanding towards global. Right now we have our locations at in Sri Lanka, US, Australia, Dubai, and UK. So that is a very brief about myself.
That's actually pretty huge, to be honest, because you have so much experience and you have contributed to the community at the same time. So, how was your experience with it? Because as you mentioned, it's been more than 13 years that you are running a company, and side by side, you are also contributing to the community of Microsoft Azure. So, how you actually balance both the things, and how's that feeling that is inculcated in you when you are contributed to the community and running a company?
Yeah. So that is a very interesting question which I need to answer clearly, because many people wanted to start their career with IT technology, but there's a personal advice from my end that if you want to get into IT, be passionate about your career and love your job, and please be addicted to your uh, interest areas. If you have those things, so right now I'm passing my 14th year and step into 15th year of my technological career in IT. So I have worked with many companies, national and international companies. After that, back in 2017 is the first year uh, which I received my first award. So if I just highlighted how I became an MVP, Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in the first year, just because of at the time of Microsoft introducing IoT technologies to the world. So at that time, I was very passionate about doing this hardware stuff and doing circuits, all those stuff. So with this introduction of the world about Microsoft IoT platform, so I just wanted to mention this person, because to become a MVP, I also had my role model. Because of, when I was working in a company, we call him Wellington. So that person who visited this company and just he gave a very good introduction about who is a MVP and how you can work with Microsoft, how you can learn these technologies, and what they're expecting in return, how you contribute to the community. So on that day, I decided like in a day I will become MVP too. to contribute to everything. So he's the person who gave me a good opportunity of joining a one IoT technical session held at Thailand through Microsoft. So that is where I started my things, and what he requested in return is, I can remember the day as today. He said that once you get trained on these technologies, just make sure you visit back to Sri Lanka and you conduct at least minimum of 7 trainings back to Sri Lankan community. So I accepted the challenge and I started that. The first place I started the community called Azure IoT Squad. That is where I started these Microsoft community programs and everything. So 2017, I was awarded with this Microsoft MVP for Azure Platform Cloud Technologies. Then after that, 7 consecutive years up to today, I was running Azure Squad. And apart from that, wanted to highlight. You discuss about the entrepreneurship. I will come to that point. But when it comes to community contribution, so it's another passionate area of mine because teaching people. Because things I learned, most of things I learned by myself, going through with the internet and following other videos and everything, doing practical things by myself and learning stuff. And I would like to pass those knowledge to my next level, I would say next generation in Sri Lanka. So with that, having that idea, uh, 5 years ago, we established another organization, non-profit organization called STEM Up Education Foundation, with the aim of like bringing world's technology to Sri Lanka and to pass that to rural areas, not in the city areas, because city areas in our country, everybody has the like mechanism of learning things. They have all the infrastructure requirements, everything. Most of the kids are in. But rural areas like into Jaffna, Anuradhapura, likewise, those areas, there are a lot of kids who are very enthusiastic about learning this IT with the STEM skills. So then, with the founder Prabhat, and there are other 2 directors, including myself. So we are also all the 4 directors were very much keen to share their knowledge. So we started something, and honestly, it became the largest volunteer base in Sri Lanka, including more than 500 volunteers from university students to school students, everyone who is contributing to each other to share these technological things running this a lot of programs for dojo. We have global partnership for dojo, hour of code, everything we are running. Our main target is to bring a disruptive education system in Sri Lanka. Why I choose disruptive is like it's not like learning everything on the book. What we want to do is give a opportunity for kids to feel the technology. It's like learning by themselves, feel it, and to understand how they can apply to solve real world problems. So those are the two major community contribution right now we are doing in Sri Lanka. So gladly, I would like to announce this also. We are into global expansion as well in our STEM Up Education Foundation. We are already like the people who were watching our contribution in Sri Lanka, these people are now requesting, okay, can we follow the same program set in their country? Now we are in the process of expanding same our methods, mechanism into other countries to uh, get hand each other and to share all those contributions. So finally coming to the entrepreneurship part. So after 14 years of experience working with a lot of so I'm very much. So many people say I'm a Microsoft biased person, but I love Microsoft. That is, say, Microsoft technologies and everything. So then I started this venture in 2019 as Impact IT, which is a Microsoft Gold partner company. So with that, we provide all the Microsoft technology related developments, cloud-based power apps, all those technologies, and still we are a startup with a team of 20 technical people. So right now we are expanding with, as I mentioned in the beginning, to the global with Australia, UK, and Dubai, US. That is the so far the how I spend my time on this stuff, on this volunteering, and again investing my hours on my own entrepreneurship.
That was so good to hear that, because it's actually too much that you are doing, because you're also running a company, again you're contributing to the community. And the main thing that I really loved is your thought process, and I do think that the listeners would also be loving your thought process over these things, that yeah, your contributions and also your thought process of like when you started your journey. So that thing that you did, and also the way you gave the trainings and the way you contributed to the community, and your whole thought process is so amazing. So moving with that, we all know that IoT is an emerging technology, and still, like people have started talking about AI/ML, but people didn't have talked about IoT at that much level. So what's your point, that how you are actually leveraging Azure IoT in your particular region? And also, like, is it difficult for you, or like, is it easy to leverage this Microsoft Azure IoT thing? Because I have seen various students who don't even know what is actually IoT, and they don't know what can be a great change it can be in the future. So, would be happy to know this from you.
Yeah. So I will start with how I get interested into IoT. So it's like for all these students, like when they are spending their childhood and school life. So many people started with lighting a LED bulb with a small battery. That is, they are interested starting at this electronic side. So the people who are interested on IoT, Internet of Things. So will the need is like, so starting from the as an example, I told you like lighting an LED. So then the requirement, if you interest on, how can I light this LED through a remote application from a remote location? That is where you should start interesting on IoT. So the question to answer here, so how Microsoft IoT can help on students and everything to start their interest area to test this all the stuff. So Microsoft Azure IoT, they have given two different platforms, Edge and IoT Centers, IoT Hub, those things. So the people who really wanted to deep dive into IoT and the real hardware controls and everything, they can directly work with this IoT Hub. It's really easy. Is like so when I'm doing sessions for the universities and other stuff about this IoTs, Microsoft IoT. So even you can control your PC if you write a correct program. You can control your over PC through a remote location using IoT Hub communication. So we call device communication. So you can do much more things. So think about, you have to kickstart your IoT life with set of drivers, set of recommended devices, everything. Then you can move into IoT Central, IoT Edge side, because Microsoft given recommended devices, their drivers and everything. What you have to do is you have to communicate and connecting each other when it comes to this from the cloud communication, everything. So Microsoft Azure, the cloud. So IoT is a part of Microsoft Azure Cloud. So they have given so many things, like Azure Stream, Analytics, and everything where you can work on. So, and now you might be thinking, okay, I'm just talking about a lot of technical jargons, like means words. So that is why I'm going to highlight. So when a person explaining about using so many words, don't worry about those things, because those are words which used to name a technology or identify a service or anything. What you really want to, what is really matters is what you really wanted to do. So what I did was when I wanted to learn IoT stuff things is I just made my own requirement. So it means, as I explained, I want to light a LED bulb from remote location. Then I started seeking knowledge of how can I do these Microsoft technologies. There are a lot of things. If you go to Microsoft, so IoT related stuff, Azure, everything is there. And there are a lot of YouTubers who is doing YouTube, a lot of MVPs like us who is doing a lot of sessions. Just Focus on your requirement and find the answers for them. So just to motivate you, I will just explain two projects what we did using IoT in Sri Lanka. The very first project is we did. So when I was working for the largest enterprise in Sri Lanka, before I started my own career, it was Labs Holding. So there's a one-off distributor of generators. So distributor of on generators. So they had a requirement like without doing any modification to the generator existing generator circuit, they want to track generator status from the service center. Why they want to track is, imagine most of the people like get alerted about generators when there is no power. Then only they will go and check my generator is working or fuel is there or is there any faults. But think about what will happen if the power goes still my generator is not working. So for that, what we did is we did a small plug and play device which will convert all the analog signals to digital, like whatever the signals available in the generator switch on or off, or filter oil level, filter issues, technical issues, all this stuff which was indicated in the generator dashboard, we convert it into digital and send it to the cloud. What will happen is a simple solution. So the problem is solved in the generator itself. The real problem what we face was there is no way of remote monitoring. So we introduced Microsoft Azure IoT into this, and we did a small circuit, and we just converted those signals into the cloud. What the benefit was introduced in that solution from the service center, the agent knows which device is running now, which device is off now, which device has a fault, which device is consuming power, everything, generating power, everything. They are monitoring from the service center. The beauty is, think about the we call real world solution we are focusing. The beauty is when there's an issue with the generator, service center give a call to the customer and say, hey, we notice an issue in your generator. Our services will be there within next few hours. We call proactive. That is what business needs and customers expecting. So the service provider is calling the customer for me and say, hey, there's an issue with your generator. We will be there to fix it. So that is where this IoT also comes in. That's a one solution, and we did a one. Another second one is that is another. This also we won national and international awards in IT competitions. The second one is we did entire automation for a fuel station. So what has happened again was there was a 4 day difference tracking sales of a fuel station. But the management getting today's sales after another 4 days. That is not a good thing to manage a business, the calculate profit. So what we did is when someone just pump the fuels and putting back the nozzle, it will hit their ERP with real time, and they can monitor the fuel consumption and ordering, storage, everything through the web. Not only that, we introduced for the first time self pumping with mobile phone. You just scan the pump through the mobile and you say, I want to get dispense 2000 rupees worth of fuel or 2 liters. Pump automatically start, dispense it, cut it. So then it will charge automatically. That kind of a level. So I just wanted to highlight with those two projects. At the time of when we are starting that project, we didn't have a clue how to finish this project, how the technology is going to use anything. But after spending, they were a good team with me and a good support from the management from those companies. So they were had a trust. That is the main thing, trust on the team. So when we start the project, we had invested our lot of hours of doing researchers, doing multiple coding, those things. So that is why I said in the very beginning, if you are really passionate about what you are doing, if you really love your job, if you are really committed to your things, so that is, I believe, those are the three things which was helpful for my career up to now, doing this community. Your question, doing the community work and handling staff, everything. Because I am a father of a 4 year kids, so I'm just trying to give my time to a family also. So managing everything, balancing everything, very difficult when it comes to IT work. Because personally, I believe another thing is engineering, like doctors and ITs. Those both things get changed every day. They introduce latest technologies. Doctors have to survive with latest viruses and everything. They have to find medicine, for all those stuff. So we are in a critical industry. Every day is getting updated. Every day we have to learn, keep learning. So those are the really three words: commit to yourself, love what you do, and be passionate about your goal. So that is how I just came into this time.
Like that was so good because that was truly amazing. Reason being, like when you actually talk about the projects, when you talk about the ground reality, that how you actually got started with your work, or how you actually got started with your first project, that time you share that okay, these were the ups and downs that I have faced. Because somehow what happens when people say that okay, you have the CEO tag or you have the MVP tag, so they have this thing that they are, that you guys are in the limelight, but the reality is not that. Okay, you have done so many stuff in the ground reality. You know that how you have been spending your nights to understand that okay, what is actually Azure IoT. So you have spent your nights over that. You have been thinking day and night about your project that you were working on. You have been contributing to your the Azure community. At the same time, you have that thing in your mind that okay, how my company is working. So that's a particularly huge thing that is going on. But yeah, people don't think, people don't see it, and people would have been coming to you and asking, um, how you became an MVP, but they don't ask that what were the ups and downs that you have faced, what were the challenges. So this is a thing that happens with the most of the MVPs, and I guess this might have happened with you as well at the same time. So thanks a lot for sharing that. And also I would be happy to end this podcast, because I am pretty much sure that the listeners would be happy to know this thing from you, that with all that, whenever you feel low and whenever you feel like quitting, since it's been more than 13 years, you might have been like coming to that point in your life that okay, I really don't want to work, I really don't want to get up early in the morning and go to my work and also start the contribution as well, like work on the volunteering part as well for the Azure community or for any other community. So in that case, how you motivate yourself every day to get up early and work for your own company and to contribute as well at the same time.
That is a very really nice question, and I'm happy to answer that. Right now, first, I'm going with that kind of a situation because it is not easy. Like, even my team is 20, is maintaining that team and doing this volunteering committee, and when it comes to all the family matters and the Sri Lanka situation, everything. So, honestly, that your question also really matters. So, first thing is, so this is a little personal, but I would like to share that how we have to balance our life and everything. Because when I'm waking up, so what I really looking at is my lovely wife and my lovely kid. So those are the two faces I first in the morning I'm looking at. So that is the first motivation. Because each day, every day, say we are living in a life fighting for survive and have a kind of a luxurious life. That is our motivation, right? That is why we all do this. We learn hard, we study hard, we try to achieve things. Because end of the day, everybody would like to have a happy, stable life. End of the day, and enjoy your life. So that is the first motivation factor I have is my family. Because when I'm looking at, I have to make sure that I am building a good life for them. That is the responsibility of a father. That is the first motivation. The second thing is I am not building a culture in my organization. In fact, IT is like an employee employer. So this is my second family. That is what I am always saying. So second family in the sense, as a father of a one kid and husband of one wife, and I've become another father of 20 members in this company. So if I am not get up and if I don't fight with my other competitors and to build this for the next level, there are another 20 lives behind myself who is trying to survive and who is trying to again have a good life. So you won't believe like our culture what your beings, the most of the kids they have more than days and we are enjoying even. So you made another point in the previous question like how I'm enjoying. So how am I spending my life with this family, my working life family? So I am playing with them, I'm playing carom with them, I'm just having dinner and everything. So we have everyone is equal in this organization. Everyone has the responsibility. That is how manage. Those are the two things I mentioned. The motivational factors I right now have to fight each day with this. And the third thing, point, the final one, as I said in the beginning, I'm a very passionate person on sharing my knowledge. That is what I always believe. So I might spend so many hours, sleepless night to learn something because I'm interested on that. So there could be others, maybe I'm always saying second generation, who are behind us, who is getting into our position in within next few years. So for them, there are people, there are students who are willing to sacrifice themselves to learn this, but they don't have the required infrastructure or required guidance. That is why I believe like so that is why I'm saying Microsoft MVP program is so good. But they are also motivating us is share our knowledge. So that is the third point, third key. What I'm seeing, if I share my knowledge only, they will see, they will get motivated, what they can do, what they can really achieve on their life, and then only say as a country, each country for the every country this is valid. If we build our second generation properly, if we pass the correct knowledge, if we pass the correct guidance, if we pass the correct leadership, then only we can make sure that my kid have a very good life in this country, because we are just supporting to build the next generation with the proper guidance and everything, giving opportunity for them to explore the world, what is happening in outside Sri Lanka, like every country outside the country, what is happening, what are the technologies happening, and we bring them down here, we learn them. Those are the main three points each day reminds me that I cannot give up. I have to each day I have to learn and I have to fight for the next things, because there are three segments who is waiting for my contribution. I believe I answered your question.
Thank you so much for that. It was so good, and again, like it feels so good when someone shares his or her ground reality, that this is the actual reality. People still think that when you come to a like great point in your life, or like in your career, you actually forget about all these things about your family, and you actually forget that okay, I want to do some like free stuff. It's all about money that you have in your mind, and these all things are actually wrong. So like I am pretty much sure by from this podcast the listeners would be understanding the ground reality, that how actually things works, and how actually a person having so many things like okay, no matter from how many years you are running a startup, or from how many years you are contributing to such a great organization like Microsoft, still you like at the end of the day, it's the family who is motivating you. At the end of the day, it's your team who is behind you, who is walking with you, and running all your initiatives, and also helping you in your ups and downs. So it was actually an amazing podcast with you, and I'm pretty much sure with this the listeners would be able to understand more about the ground reality, and would be able to get motivated with this. And again, thank you so much for joining in, and it was really amazing having you today.
Thank you, Shavi, for the inviting me to share this knowledge and everything. So I'm really happy to support you guys. Thank you very much.